Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Hey, what's on tap podcast here today? Day 5, and we are super excited, or I'm super excited anyway, to keep doing this Advent calendar box from Tull. I have enjoyed everything so far, and I think day 5 also looks pretty doggone interesting because we have a Gose. And this one's brewed with pine shoots, and I believe it's dry hopped with Simcoe hops. It's called Gose to Fyrreskov, and I went online and I looked up Fyrreskov, which is Fyrreskov, and as far as I can tell, that word has no meaning because it did not produce any other thing than this beer as a search result. So who knows what that means? Maybe it's an offshoot of a spelling from another language or something, but our research budget only went so far, and me Googling the one word was about as far as it went. So it comes in at a 3.8% ABV. So this is kind of your nice, midday Christmas beer, so you don't have to worry about, getting too drunk too early. You can have something kind of light and refreshing before you, get into the real course and maybe some heavier beers later in the Christmas day. It smells, I don't know if I'm supposed to smell pine when it says it's brewed with pine shoots, but I don't get pine needles really. I get just kind of a really nice fruity Gose kind of smell. The color is kind of light, like an unfiltered lager, basically, and some nice lacing around the top of the glass. Overall, I would say it's a very pleasing looking beer. I'm looking forward to this. So, cheers. You definitely get the dry hopping up front. That is kind of a hoppy beer. It didn't come through on the nose a lot, but it's definitely there in the on the tongue. Otherwise, it's lightly tart. It's got some nice round body to it. It's very dry. It kind of finishes really just clean after you take the first sip. Again, I don't really know what the pine shoots are bringing to this because I don't recognize anything in this beer that says, ooh, pine. I don't mean like tar, like pine tar like you get with some IPAs. We're talking about like fresh, young, or like fresh pine shoots, like when you're in the forest and you kind of smell pine needles. I'm expecting something maybe a little bit like that, but I don't experience that as a flavor sensation. Instead, what I get is just a very nice, all-around hoppy Gose, and I can't say that that's a bad situation either. It's a shame that they don't mention that they use simcoe hops and dry hopping on this. Because I think that would change people's perception of this beer and what they're getting out of it. Again, I think if you're on a hot summer day, this beer would be absolutely amazing. But I got to tell you, if you're wanting something to drink at a Christmas party and you're worried about drinking too much, this is also a good way to go because it's got a lot of flavor. It's really refreshing. It's not light. Like I wouldn't say it tastes like it's too of a light beer. It definitely feels like you're drinking something. So I would say this does not feel like it's only 3.8%. I would think it was probably somewhere around, 4.5 to a 5% ABV. So that's also really nice. Overall, I think I would give this a 3.75. There's just enough like salt in there. There's just enough citrus and tartness to it to keep it interesting and keep you wanting to take another sip, another sip, and another sip. So I think kudos on this Gose. Gose to Fyrreskov. And that was day 5.
This podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearePodsyndicate.com.